Greetings, sir and sirettes, and welcome back to Terratech with me, Lathrix, and of course, welcome back to the R&D mode where today, I'm going to try and build something which I honestly have never tried to build before because I haven't been a huge fan of it, but so many people have recommended this. Let's see if we can build one which I actually like. Today, we're going to build a jet, which means we are going to be using the jet engines rather than the propellers to build a flyer. Now the problem is, when jet engines are online, fuel tanks do not regenerate, which means eventually you will run out of fuel mid-air, but then as soon as the engines are off, fuel starts to come back, and technically speaking, you can just fly forever, but it's a little bit annoying to fly once that initial drop has happened. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on the Hawkeye small jet engines, which are incredibly efficient, and then we're going to go with venture blocks to be incredibly light, with a couple of hidden propellers on the inside of the craft. Now that may seem a little bit cheaty, but they are there almost solely so that once the fuel is out, we can descend nice and stably and probably not crash into absolutely everything. Now when it comes to weapons, we are most likely going to have to go with the cruise missiles because we're likely to be going way too fast to be accurate with bombs or anything like that. At least, that's the idea. So then, let's get started. When it comes to fuel, we definitely want to use the Venture, as soon as I can see the darn things. There they are, the large compressed fuel tank. There. I've got a bad throat and my dyslexia is really kicking in today. A fantastic combo, clearly. Now, these regenerate incredibly quickly and have quite a good amount of fuel in them already, so I think these are going to be the main fuel we use. The thing is, how big do we want the craft? I'm thinking quite small. I'm thinking small assault jet, nothing really too heavy. Eventually, I want to make a new bomber using the new propellers, these huge things. But that isn't today. Today, I'm gonna just try and build something I have no idea how to build. Which is like every episode. Let's crack on. Now here's an issue. I have never tried to build something which looks like a jet either, so I could go with our standard sort of aircraft build, but then simply use jets, or I could try to make it look like a jet. And the problem is with that, Venture really does not want to do that. Hawkeye does, but Hawkeye is much heavier. Okay, I think I'll just build it like normal to begin with, and then after that, if it looks okay, we'll keep it. If we really don't think it looks like a jet, we may rebuild it. Or we could rebuild it in a future episode once I've sorted all this out. Don't quite know where I'm going with this, but I think this may look at least unique when it's finished. I don't mind if it doesn't look like a traditional jet, as long as it looks interesting and it looks different from my other flyers. That's all I'm going after, because honestly, I don't see how I'm going to build jet shape using Venture. I think I can quite easily figure it out using Hawkeye, but I don't want another Hawkeye flyer. Yeah, this thing is going to be very, very fast when it's done. And I'm not in love with the shape, but I certainly don't hate it either. I think we can make this work. And this is why we have the tiny little propellers inside, because as you can see, now we're out of fuel, the thrusters are going to turn off, and on, and off, and on, over and over again, because that's just how it works, sadly. But that initial burst of speed will be fantastic for a type of craft which is going to be landing constantly. So we definitely need to make landing in this thing easy. At the moment, it kind of is, even without wheels. I mean, you could see how easily that would land, if you had something to land onto. So we need to keep it light, and we need more fuel. Those are two things which don't mix well. We're slowly getting there. The back section looks ugly as anything right now, but look at this turning speed. That is utterly insane when the thrusters are on. This is going to make an amazing hit-and-run craft when it's finished. Okay, I'm getting more hopeful. Getting more hopeful every few minutes. Goodbye. Trying to get the camera to follow is a bit difficult with that turning speed, but still. Oh, don't die, don't die, don't die, don't die, don't die. Thankfully you're saved anyway. Massively reduced thrust, but massively increased fuel. This thing now goes on for quite a while. Only now is it starting to go down. Goodbye. Okay, fuel's out. And back. And out. And back. That's not too bad. But this thing really needs more pitch down. This is really difficult to control because of how fast it turns and how fast it can pitch. That little bit of pitch, we just don't need it. Normally, I like a little bit of pitch in the craft, naturally, just to help with turns like this, but clearly we don't need it. Also, the back section still, really. Ow. 2 large fuel tanks at the bottom and an inverted wing. Still a bit too much upwards pitch, but now let's see how long we last with thrust. Although we might actually need a few more jets now. We're a little bit slower than we were. How's turning? Slowed a little bit because of that lack of upwards pitch, but yep, that's lasting way longer. Very easy to control though, but I do miss that really fast turning. That's not bad. But it was so ridiculously quick, it gave it a certain niche. Okay, running out of fuel in just a second. And it's out. Well, we get a little bit more back each time, of course, since we have more of them regenerating during the off time, but still want to land once it's out. Ow. Remove the gyroscope, so now our turning is nice and quick again. Decent speed, though not much faster than a lot of the propeller planes, which is a little bit annoying. Still, though, plenty powerful. Huzzah for missiles. Very difficult for the camera to keep up. A lot of blur. Fun to use, though. Now we're running out of fuel. And an easy landing. Yeah, this thing's going to be incredibly easy to land. But we still need to add wheels. But I don't know where I want to add the wheels. I mean, do we really need to add the wheels? I'm taking a tiny bit of damage each time, but that's on flat terrain. Decisions are needed. How about if we remove these missiles here, then add a couple more jets. Let's go purely with speed. I'm really missing that really quick turn. The problem is this will, of course, cut our lifespan in terms of how long we have jet fuel, but still. That's... Whoa, yeah, that is way more responsive and way faster. Jeez. And then we're out of fuel. Yep, that was quick. Maybe just 2 more rather than 4 more. Because that speed is really fun. Also need to start messing around with the bottom section here. As you can see, 2 of them are inverted, 1 isn't. I was messing around with them. It doesn't seem to really make too much of a difference. So let's go with looks. Which, I'm not completely unhappy with the look of this thing, on a side note. Ooh, things. Let's not crash. Steady, steady. No propellers, but now 2 of the Hawkeye fuel tanks, which are very heavy, but give us a lot of fuel. Wow, this lasts. Wow, this lasts a long time. And now running out of fuel? Yep, just about to run out finally. So that's how we'll fly once the fuel's out. It's not a terrible speed. I mean, the slowest it goes is 60, I think, and then it goes back up to 120. Just way less consistent. Oh! Yeah, that's going to be a bit more difficult to land. I don't know. Tell me in the comments what you think about this. If I'm going to build a jet, shall I just go pure jet like this? Or shall I add an internal rotor just to make things a bit easier when it comes to landing and such? That's nice. The problem is, it no longer has enough upwards pitch to naturally take off anymore. Thank you. but the controls are absolutely lovely. Turns out the jets do make really, really good controls in comparison to the propellers. I'm not quite sure why this is, but it just is. Definitely one of my most fun planes to fly I've made so far. Bit lacking on the power side of things, but yeah, really nice. And look how smooth that is. But then when we land, we can't take off again. So I need to make these front wheels a little bit lower. But look at how easy that is to land. And making it more sharp is going to be more difficult, but blah, blah, blah. Oh, I hate these wheels on the front, but they do allow me to get off from the ground straight away. And they are heavy enough to weigh down the front still. Also, 6 missiles. Sacrificed a bit of speed and a tiny bit of turning, but that is enough to kill a lot of stuff. Making this actually quite efficient and deadly. Efficient and deadly. Speaking, normally my weak spot, now with a throat infection. It's going great. So current status, 6 missiles, incredibly easy to control, a slight downwards pitch for once, which is surprisingly good to control, and it gets off the ground incredibly easily. Problem is, it's not as fast as it once was. But it can go quite a distance. But is that really the point of this? No, we already have travelling flyers. We have the drones, which are easier to control, stuff like that. I feel like I keep on going back to old design styles when I'm doing something like this. So, I think I need to do is perhaps add one more set of jets, change up the front slightly, and then I would say it's close to being done. I'm surprisingly happy with it still. Despite everything I've said, I am surprisingly happy with it, which I do say surprisingly a lot. Surprisingly. Fair bit faster, though nowhere near as fast as some of the designs on the workshop, but the thing is, it fits my gameplay way better. Oh, that's beautiful. Super, super easy to control, which is lovely. And that is so much fun, yet this is going to be deadly during missions. Problem is, it's about to run out of fuel already, and wait for it. There it goes. But it is still incredibly, incredibly easy to land. So just land, and I think it refuels in about 10 seconds, since most of the fuel is based in the Venture pods. We only have 2 of the Hawkeye fuel tanks, and the Venture ones, I believe, are the fastest at refueling. I could be wrong there, but it says relatively quickly, so let's just assume. Yeah, really happy. I think it's done. So let's go to the campaign and build it. Most likely, we're going to have to build a lot of the Venture stuff. Well, at least in terms of the fuel pods. Since I don't really use these type of thrusters very often, these type of jets, start calling them jets, Lathrix, this isn't Nimbatus, I think I won't have a lot of this stuff. Thankfully, the wings I will have, thanks to the huge transport vessel. Just for reference on size. Yeah. That took me so long to build, and as soon as I'd built it, the better propellers had came out. So what am I missing? Wow, is that it? Okay, just 1 Hawkeye jet and 1 tipped wing. That's awesome. Okay, let's just get back to base and build them. That'll take moments. Onwards we go, in this direction, although I think I have some corpse stuck underneath me. Yes, I do. Excellent. Always good to go travelling when you're walking on corpses. Lathrix 2018. On Halloween as well. Interesting. It took me like 3 seconds to get too lazy and just go back to the plane. I mean, it's more efficient. So here we are, building our stuff. I think we just built the thruster straight away. And there we are. Both of those are very cheap and very easy. So now... Wait, seriously? We can have both of these? Huh. Wow, this thing's tiny, isn't it? Did not realise how small this thing was. Also, really bad positioning here. And off we go. Let's go and do a mission, shall we? Lost baggage, sure. It's so weirdly stable. I'm so used to having the pitching upwards because that's how I like to fly things. It's weird. Makes me feel horribly uncomfortable. Oh, I was really hoping that'd spawn in just in time. Sadly not. Hello. And goodbye. Yeah, this thing is fantastic to fly. Lathrix, did you forget the radar again? Because I'm sure you wouldn't do that, like with every single build. There you go, now I can actually see things. So, find the lost baggage. Goodbye. You found the crate before Did I? The surprise meant I couldn't even say it on time. Again though, the one thing with going so fast is trying to get the camera to have a good view is a nightmare. Don't hurt yourself on your first official landing. Thank you. Ooh, money. Also, not having rotors means I have to rely on these wheels for movement on the ground, which is really difficult. Neutralize the enemies. Now that's a better mission for this thing. Come on, hurry up. Oh, never in time. Oh my god, that's a lot of things. Hello, splitting enemy. Oh, that was painful looking. And we are getting some serious lag from all this. I think they're all colliding. Oh, area of effect hits. It's so beautiful. Thank you, random Hawkeye friends. Wait, is that called missile? Oh, let's focus on the missile ally, shall we? Well, I hit the guy next to him, but still. And we are now out of fuel. Now, that was beautiful. I think we can all agree. So, this is incredibly deadly, and let's just have a quick rest to get our fuel back. I mean, honestly, you could do this mid-air very easily because of how slow this thing glides. You could easily just refuel, get a little bit more momentum, refuel, momentum, and if I get in the habit of doing that, I probably won't have to do this so often. You were part of the group. You weren't highlighted. Well, you're dead now anyway, so it doesn't really matter too much. A little bit later then. Forgot how long these things take to reload since I've been using bombs more, which reload almost instantly. Oh man, this thing's powerful. Missiles! I missed you! But you are so overpowered, I understand why I did stop using you. So, let's see if we can refuel mid-air then. Clearly we can gain altitude as much as we want. So then if we want to safely refuel, just have a nice steady glide for a while. Already halfway. Now 2/3. And we're already green. And let's go back to the fight. Okay, it's not too bad. Glad I finally gave this thing a try. Still not as reliable as a regular propeller craft. But it does make a nice change. Goodbye to you as well. I need to start slowing down before the attack run, though. That would make things a lot easier on myself. That was beautiful as well. The fun factor on this thing... Oh, God, that almost killed me. The fun factor on this thing is incredibly high. It must be said. And so I have said it. And thus fulfilled the mustness. So I just looked at that clip. Definitely not me. Definitely not one of my missiles. Either it has the exploding brackets inside, or somehow friendly fire happened. Wait, is that the defender tech? Is that not the base? Is that the base? Which one of you is the base? Must be the center one, because all the others are highlighted, right? Oh, sorry, base. Yeah, it was definitely the base. So what happened then? Oh, what a shame. I was all hyped up, like, wow, look at this thing. Does it have no defense? Does it have no AI? No, it has no AI. That's annoying. Oh, yeah, I should really focus on actually clearing these things out rather than watching. It's harvesting its own stuff. Yeah, they're scrappers, aren't they? It's scrapping itself and making me money. It's like someone chopping off their arm and then selling their arm into space. Happens far too much these days. I am so confused right now. I mean, it looks amazing, but what was all that on top then? I mean, this thing is just beautiful. And save. I'll just keep it as it is. Wait. Whoa, 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 what's your name? The ZG Umbrella. You wouldn't be Zero Gravitas, would you? Butchered his name. Certain of it. Well, I can't find it on the store, so maybe it is, and we'll never know what was going on top, unless someone wants to comment below. Seriously though, that is a thing of beauty. And now it's mine! Oh, I can't laugh. Bad throat. Instantly punished. So with that, if you have enjoyed the video, then of course, likes, favourite, shares, comments, all that good stuff, helps out me, helps out the channel, and most importantly, shows that Terratech is a series you wish to see continued in the future. This turned out so much better than I expected, and thank you all for the suggestions on this thing. I think this is one of the most suggested types of vehicle since the very start of this season, easily. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Now what to build next?